All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 10 of Sports with Skiz. We're talking week 4 college football. I hope you guys enjoyed the little surprise, I guess, interview drop that we had with Pitt beat reporter Jim Hammett. It was awesome getting to sit down with him. Anytime you get the chance to sit down with a guy like that and discuss football and just overall views on some of the games, you have to do so. So I hope you guys like that. Make sure you keep tuning in. We're going to have some more interviews dropping here soon. But Knock, how we doing, brother?
Yeah, we're good. And again, I really enjoyed myself listening to Jim. He was such a professional about it. He really knows his stuff. So it's always nice to have a guest come on the show and kind of take a load off my shoulders there for a little bit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm doing great. I'm ready for an upcoming weekend of college football.
Hell yeah, man! It's going to be a nice one. We got some good games coming up. We're getting into a lot of teams diving into conference play. We got some ranked matchups, hopefully some upsets as well too. So without further ado, go ahead, Knock. Lead us off here. What's your first game that you're going over?
Oh yeah. So what I think is the best game of the weekend, Auburn versus Oklahoma. The spread 6.5. Auburn is a plus 200 on the money line, over under 47.5. Listen, two quarterbacks who have played before, played each other back in high school. Jackson Arnold, John Mentier. Listen, lethal dual threat weapons at the quarterback position who highly impact their offenses, and both offenses are very, very similar when it comes to the talent on the field. These guys match up great. So I'm excited to see what's going on. Mike, you were a former offensive lineman. I want to talk about the offensive line for a second, as I played a little bit of tackle myself back in the day. Uh, so yeah, Xavier Chaplin, Mason Murphy, Too Tall, Xavier Miller. These guys are going to have a workload ahead of them, and they're good offensive linemen, and they have a developed running game. However, Oklahoma has a number 4 ranked defense in the nation. They've only given up count them, one touchdown, Mike. And the
Mhm.
only touchdown that they gave up was a 75-yarder to Justice Haynes, who, I mean, let's call it a little bit of luck, even though he's a good ball player, right? So it
Mhm.
almost seems like, as of right now, it's looking like the season of the Boomer Sooner. Can they once again become the contenders that we grew up watching with Sam Bradford at the helm? Um, Listen, this is a test for them too, though, because Auburn's defense, only 5 touchdowns given up. They're no slouch either, you know. So Jaden Ott is the running back. Let's get to that part of the skill position for Oklahoma. Jaden Ott has been a little bit of an underperformer coming from Cal. However, though, running backs that have been, a huge impact for Oklahoma. Torrey Blaylock, he's a freshman. He had 100 yards last week on top of John Matier. Those are their top 2 rushers on the season, and the
Mhm.
receivers are stout. Deion Burks, Keontae Lewis, Isaiah Satina, and my boy, of course, Jaron Canuck. We share a little bit of the same name, and but
Beautiful.
likewise for Auburn, though, they're another team that has continuity at the running back position. They can run the football. They've got Damari Alston. They've got Jeremiah Cobb. Obviously, Jackson Arnold, who has struggled this year throwing the football, but has always been very reliable on the ground. At some point, somebody's got to rush well versus Oklahoma's defense. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to score. This one touchdown gig can't last forever. Like I said, Arnold hasn't looked good, but he's also got talent at the wide receiver spot with Eric Singleton, Cam Coleman. You know, so here's what I think. I think Jackson Arnold going back to the place on Prairie, who was food, is going to look like Jackson Dart, and they're going to shove it all the way to the Gay Lord Family's Oklahoma Memorial Stadium end zone. I take the over 47.5 lock.
I love it. I love it. Great breakdown there. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the kind of not underrated, but I kind of feel like it's an underrated game. It hasn't been talked about that much just with how good Oklahoma's been, but I am really interested to see how Jackson Arnold, excuse me, does going back to Norman, Oklahoma and playing against a team that kind of kicked him to the curb, really early last year. Granted, he didn't play that well, but 5-star coming out of high school. We know they don't pan out all the time, but I know he's going to be looking for some sweet revenge. I do like the over, but I also do like Oklahoma in this game as well too. I think their defense, especially, feeds off that energy at home. We saw it against Michigan, so I'm going to go with you on the over there, though.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I can see Oklahoma doing the same thing. They're just too
Perfect.
good. They're too well rounded.
Yes. Yeah, they got a lot of shit to prove. They have, I think, the Red River rivalry is coming up, right? Or is it the Red River shootout? I think you
No,
can't say that anymore.
yeah, the will be
Whoa, whoa,
coming
whoa,
up
whoa, whoa,
here
whoa, whoa.
in a couple weeks.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I know that they're going to want to gain some momentum going into that. Um, so my first game of the weekend, Texas Tech traveling to Utah. I believe we talked about it already. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff on the East Coast, but I believe it's going to be a 10 a.m. kickoff over there in Mormon Valley. So it is going to be crazy to see Utah right now. I saw -2.5. I saw some lines given out at -3, over under 57.5. Let's start with Texas Tech, number one scoring offense in the FBS right now. They haven't really played anybody, but obviously, when your team is doing that, they're expected to blow them out, and they've been doing that. The passing game has been crazy. Baron Morton is going wild right now, 923 yards through the air, 11 touchdowns, just one interception, completing at 70.4% a clip. He has some big play guys on the outside with Coy Eakin. Love that guy, love that name. And Caleb Douglas. Also, knock their tight end, Terrence Carter Jr., transfer from Louisiana Raising Cajuns, baby. And he is living up to the expectation, one of the 4 stars that they brought in. They also have 3 guys over 150 rushing yards and 4 players also with at least 10 receptions with over 130 yards. That's what we call offensive love. They're spreading the wealth. Everybody's getting their touches. The defense looks great as well, too. They have David Bailey that they stole from Stanford after spring ball. He was one of the most touted transfers in the portal. They went out, they snagged him. Speaking of transfers, they brought in 13 4 stars transfers, all transfers this offseason, spent a projected $10 million just on them in NIL, while also spending around $25 million on the roster. So Texas Tech, it's not your mom and dad's Texas Tech. It's not what we grew up on. They had some success with Michael Crabtree, but they've been kind of down in the dumps ever since. But they're putting money into that program, and they got a hell of a ball team down there right now in Lubbock, Texas. There's not shit to do down there. You might as well spend money to win. Utah, let's move over to them. They have the best win out of these 2 schools. It's not really saying much since that team is UCLA. Boy, are they a dumpster fire. That's another tale for another day. We won't even jump into that. With that being said, Devin Dampier has been damn good at quarterback right now, throwing for 628 yards, 7 touchdowns, and count them, 0 picks right there. He also leads the team in rushing with 198 yards, but not too far behind him is Wayshawn Parker and Nicorey Rogers. They are a nice little 1-2 tandem, so I like that. And their tight end also, I'd never seen this before. Knock, I don't know if you have. I think he's their backup tight end. Nonetheless, he's a tight end. Hunter Andrews, over 100 yards rushing on the season. Thought that was pretty wild. They do have a big play threat on the outside with Ryan Davis, so he'll be getting a lot of love from Dampier here. A name on the defense that you got to keep an eye out for, and it is a hell of a name, John Henry Davis. No relation to Henry Davis, the catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They also suck. We're not a baseball podcast, so we won't talk about that, but
Patriot
he's a
right
name.
there.
He is a Patriot. It's a hell of a name. He'd be front lines on the Marines, it sounds like. But he anchors that defensive line. He already has 5 sacks on the season, and their defense as a whole is top 10 in the country for in terms of opponent scoring. I guess I'm wording that correct. So they don't give up a ton of points. They don't give up a ton of big plays. It's going to be interesting to see how they anchor down against Texas Tech. Both teams perform very well on third down. Utah ranks second in the FBS, converting at 71.1 on the season, and Texas Tech ranks 12th, converting at 57.9. So the biggest thing for me is going to come down to the turnover battle between both quarterbacks. Only 1 turnover, 1 interception between the two. With that being said, I like Texas Tech money line. It is going to be a tough, hostile environment going up there to play against the Utah Utes. That crowd is crazy. The energy. I know that the stadium, I've heard, feels like they're on top of you. It's very compact there, but I like Texas Tech outright money line, and I do like the over.
Yeah, I mean, I expect a team that went out and spent all the money that Texas Tech did. I think they brought in over 40 transfers or whatever the case may be, maybe even higher than that. The one thing that was extremely interesting to me about it was Baron Morton being one of the few guys that stayed there for 4 to 5 seasons. It kind of shows me that they have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in him. So, and as you said earlier, 900 yards, 9 touchdowns. The guy's been completely stellar for the team. I'm going to rock out with Texas Tech. You're very convincing. But going into Utah is never easy. That is one of the more difficult places to play in college football, a very underrated place to play in college football as well. You got to give Utah all the credit in the world. Over the last couple of years, they've been able to maintain relevancy, not just with a name, but in the rankings. And they've had multiple different quarterbacks throughout the entire process. Cam Rising, he's finally gone and out of there.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, it's a new day for the Utah Utes. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup. It's obviously a toss-up for a reason. I'm nervous about it, but I'm taking the away team.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and if I had another game, honestly, that I'm really super excited about here, it's Arizona State versus Baylor. I've done a little bit on Baylor this year, as a matter of fact, twice. This will be the third time's the charm. It's a toss-up game, 2.5-point spread. The over-under is a little high at 59.5, kind of signaling to me that it's going to be a high-scoring game. Why? Well, it's really no question to anybody that watches college football that Baylor has a great offense. They also have a shitty defense. And I pardon my French there to the young kids, but it's just the truth. Their defense sucks. And when they play a formidable foe, I really don't care about the analysis on that side of the ball. Listen, Baylor could be special. They're not. They've got the fourth ranked offense in the country. They give up 356 yards defensively. However, it feels like it's 1,000 yards a game. I mean, seriously, I've struggled to see Baylor get a stop. Matt Pollage, he's got the experience as a co-defensive coordinator at Oregon. He comes back to Waco, Texas. Listen, I expect you guys to pucker up this week because Arizona State is due, and it's not their defense, and it's not their teams on the win-loss column. It's their quarterback. It's Sam Leavitt. He has been underwhelming at just 165 yards passing this year. Granted, the two Ks, Kyson, Kanye, out of the backfield, they have been completely stellar in holding it down, 100 yards rushing per game individually, okay? I think Sam Leavitt has a great game today, or not today, but this weekend. Whose defense sucks against the run? Baylor's. And I think they're going to put a lot of emphasis in trying to stop Arizona State because of it. Granted, Baylor in their first two games, who was in Stanford, they lost in the first half. They lost to Auburn. They lost to SMU just in the first half. So you know what? Being the home team, I'm going to take the home team money line first half and -1.5 to cover the spread.
I like it. Yeah, we're on the same board here with that. I think Baylor, this is basically your rubber match with them. You're 1-1 when talking about them, right? Took them
That's correct.
week one, and then against SMU. Yeah, I think they got a lot of momentum after that win against SMU. So I do like the Baylor Bears. I do like the over as well too. So I will be on board with that. Perfect. Moving on to my second game, we got Michigan at Nebraska. Michigan -1.5, over under 46.5. This will be Michigan's second game without Sharon Moore, but look no further. They got Mr. Self-Made Millionaire Biff Poggi to lead the way. Speaking of leading the way, they lean heavily on that rushing game, averaging 242 yards. That's 15th in the country. Why not lean on it when you have Justice Haynes, Jordan Marshall, and you have an extremely athletic quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who also had over 100 yards rushing last week in their big win over Central Michigan. If it's me there, I think that they should let the chains off of Bryce Underwood a little bit earlier than they did in Norman, Oklahoma. Let him sling the rock. He's one of the most touted college football recruits in the last, 5-10 years or so. Let him throw the ball. I know it's going to take him some time to develop, but you might as well start now in his true freshman season. Michigan's defense is no slouch either. They come out, they try to punch you in the mouth. They try to play fuck you football, which I love as well, too. So they're super tough. They're led by the linebackers Ernest Hausman and Jay Sean Barham. So that's going to be interesting to see. And they do have a +5 turnover differential, which ranks them 11th in the FBS. So they like to create havoc, like to create turnovers. Let's switch it over to Nebraska a little bit here. If history repeats itself, Matt Rule is going to win this game. It's his third season at Nebraska, at Baylor, and at Temple. This was his prove it year, and he proved it every time. If you go back and take a look, his first 2 years at both those programs were a little bit shaky. They had some building blocks there, set the momentum. Boom. Year 3 is when they took over. So I'm expecting them to have a big game this week, especially with it being at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes Jr. I know we give him a lot of shit for that. He's been lights out. He's second in the Big Ten in passing with 829 yards, 8 touchdowns, count them, 0 picks. They also have a great running game as well, too. Elijah Smith, or excuse me, Emmett Smith Johnson. His middle name isn't Smith. I just like Emmett Smith, so I figured I'd throw that in there. Oh, he kind of looks like him, by the way. 326 yards rushing on the season. They lean heavily on him. Speaking of leaning heavily on guys, why not lean heavily on your massive offensive line when you bring in transfers like Elijah Pritchett from Alabama and Rocco Spindler from Notre Dame? They were huge, huge ads this offseason. Rocco, love that name. He committed to Nebraska over Pitt, broke my heart, but say la vie, it is what it is. I think the biggest thing for this game, if Nebraska is going to win, control the ball, control the possession, keep it clean. Do not turn the ball over to Michigan. Like I said, their defense loves to create havoc and to create turnovers. Another crazy thing from this, Nebraska's defense, their third down percentage is 6th in the nation, allowing opponents to convert 62.7% of the time. And Michigan's offense is ranked 52nd in the nation, converting at only 44.7% on third down. So I think that's going to be a big tell this weekend. With that being said, I'm leaning on Nebraska. Give me the Cornhuskers. Give me that crazy atmosphere up there in Lincoln, Nebraska. My heart's telling me Michigan. I love Biff, but again, say la vie. I'm going with Nebraska, and I do like the under in this game.
Yeah, I like Biff. Biff. No, Biff is super cool. Sick he can't wear the cutoffs. I think that's bullshit. Let him be him. And
yeah, screw him.
As far as all the Patrick Mahomes goes, no, Dylan Raiola. I do think he's got the experience over Michigan's quarterback in this, and Bryce Underwood. Excuse me, I was drawing a blank there. Michigan's got a really powerful running game. I think you can box that in. I just don't know if they have the talent on the outside, and I don't know if Bryce Underwood's ready to make big game throws. He looked good first couple of weeks, but he's still young, and there's still a lot for him to learn and things of that nature. And Raiola has had some of that experience at this point. They played Cincinnati, which was a tough game. Cincinnati's not Michigan in terms of talent, but I tell you what, they came in there and they were throwing blows back and forth. So I'm going to rock out with you. I'm going to take Nebraska on this one.
Love it. Let's ride. Who ride? We ride.
We ride.
Let's go. All
left
right, Knock.
side,
What's
strong side?
Left side, strong side, baby. Shout out to the left side. Run left.
Run left.
What's that last game looking like, Knock?
Yeah, guys, listen, I would be remiss to tell you that I really wanted to do Michigan State versus USC at 11 o'clock at night, but I know some of you have kids. I know some of you have families. I know some of you have work. So I'm going to refrain from that cattywampus game. Simply for the fact it's just the line is weird. Everything about it is weird. Neither of those teams, I've played anybody. USC has looked like this to their opponent, and Michigan State is really playing down to their opponent. They struggled versus Youngstown State, so I'll leave that go. Michigan money line, whatever. Just have fun with it. And who I really like it is Florida and Miami. And again, I like Miami. I don't like Florida. Okay,
Miami.
The U. So Carson Beck is just looking so good. That team, that roster, everything about them, offense, defense, special teams, you name it, even the fans, they're ready. Miami's back. I think you mentioned it to me earlier that they kind of look like a better team than they were last year. And Florida, oh, Florida. I don't even know what to say. Five of the worst interceptions that I've ever seen in my life last week. I hope that Florida can get back on track and just start off a little faster. Their defense is stout. They just need to be able to find a way to get DJ Lagway short RPO passes, dink and dunks. You know what I mean? Keep the running game active. Don't get him into a situation where it's third and longs and he's forced to have to do something. I don't think that they have too much talent on the outside. So I'm gonna lean Miami. I'm gonna lean Miami to cover. I think I might have switched that in not too long of a span. I really want to take Florida. Me, I'm a sharp guy. It's just weird game, but Miami's just too dominant.
Yeah, I'm gonna be leaning on Miami as well too. I thought that spread was a little bit weird whenever I saw it. However, it is a rivalry game, but Miami did beat the ever loving shit out of them last year too, 41-17. Excuse me, in the swamp, and I think their defense is a lot better than it was last year. And if Lagway comes out and does what he did this past week, see ya. Not gonna happen. So I'm gonna be leaning on the Hurricanes as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upset
My
with myself.
oh
Sorry not to cut
no,
you
you're
off. I'm
good.
gonna be so upset with myself later on that one when Florida covers. But
Oh, like all of our other games from last week,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, say la vie. We're good, brother.
A little sick
My
though.
my final game here. I'm gonna go Illinois at Indiana. I really, really like this game. I think it's the perfect, not even nightcap, but 7:30. Those are technically some of the later games here for kickoff. But Indiana -6.5, over under 52.5. Let's start with Illinois here. Luke Altmaier has been beautiful at Illinois, like he has his whole career. 709 yards, 8 touchdowns, count them, zero picks, converting at 71.8 a clip for completion percentage. And how could you not when you have Hank Beatty on the outside, 289 yards on 19 catches? I would like someone else to step up, though, if that's possible. The next closest guy has 86 yards receiving and 8 catches. So I guess when you have one guy that you can lean on, that's good, but it could also be counterproductive there as well, too, if they shut him down. So they do have some good running backs, Caden Fagan and Khalil Valentine. They add some good ability in the backfield. Both are quick, a nice little 1-2 punch there. So it would be nice to get that run game going. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is their offensive line. I think they're returning 3 or 4 guys that they had last year that are starters. And even though they've given up a lot of pressures, a lot of sacks on Altmaier, and they still need to get that run game going. So we'll see how that goes. On the other hand, Illinois' defense is very tough. Gabe Lucas is a guy to watch out for there. He has 3.5 sacks on the season, and they're pretty stout in the run game, only allowing 74.7 yards per game. That ranks them 14th in the nation. And scoring defense has been phenomenal as well, too, at 7.3 per game. That's 5th in the nation as well, too. So they're going to have to answer the bell if they want to beat Indiana. Moving on to Indiana, Kurt Cignetti in his second year, he's looking to come out and prove people that first year playoff berth was not a fluke, and how well to do so with beating Illinois and a team that's ranked in the top 10. So Fernando Mendoza came over from Cal this offseason. He's been stellar, kind of like Altmaier, to be honest with you. 708 yards, 9 touchdowns, count them, zero interceptions, converting his completion percentage at 72.4 a clip as well. And how could you not when you have receivers on the outside like Omar Cooper Jr., who has 299 yards on just 13 catches, 4 touchdowns, and they have Elijah Surratt, who also has 164 yards on 15 catches with 4 touchdowns. Knock, do you know where Elijah played at before he followed Coach Cignetti from JMU to Indiana?
St. Francis of
St.
Pennsylvania.
St. Francis Red Flash. That is correct. Had about 700 yards in his freshman season that allowed him to move on to bigger and better things in JMU. And they do have a ton of running back balance as well, too, with Kalon Black, Lee Beebe Jr., and Roman Hemby. If I'm mispronouncing those names, I apologize, guys. Come on and discuss that with me. Help me pronounce those. They all have over 200 yards rushing on the season already. So I think that speaks volume to them. That speaks to their offensive line as well, too, creating some good movement. The defense is going to have to get after it. They're doing pretty well on third downs. They rank eighth defensively, only allowing their offenses to convert on 21.6% of third down. So that's awesome to see. They're going to have to get off there, like I said, that offensive line for Illinois, who's been a little shaky. Fun fact, this is their first ranked matchup between these two teams since 1950. That's a long time ago, Knock, huh? Holy shit.
Before our
We weren't even
parents.
Yeah, before the parents. I think my grandparents were running around as 20-year-olds, however old they might be. But that's all I really have for this game. But I like Indiana minus the points. I like the over. I think if Indiana is going to win this game, they're going to come out rooting and a shooting.
Yeah, and that's a darn rooting tooting Indiana minus 6.5 for me too, bro. I do like Illinois. I really do. And I'm one of these guys. You guys have
Love
heard
Brett
me
Bielema.
a few times. Yeah, I love Brett Bielema. I really, really do. I love Altmaier. Altmaier. I love the running backs that they have. And even though I don't think that Indiana played anybody to, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, 73-0. At least Illinois played Duke, even though Duke hasn't looked the best. Don't ask me anything about Duke, asshole. But the point being is, yeah, I think I'm just gonna ride out with the home team, Indiana. They need this one. I think Illinois is ranked higher than they are, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Illinois is ranked 9th right now.
Yeah, so
Indiana, I believe, is 19th. Okay. I want to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock out with the home favorite.
I like it. Knock, do you have any? Oh, go ahead.
No.
Hoosiers. Do you have any quick hits or anything like that? I have a couple of other games I just wanted to give out in case we have some D-gens that are looking for a little more.
Yeah, man, I'm going to keep highlighting this team throughout the season. I want them to know that there's somebody that's actively interested in them. The Roanoke College Maroons, guys, we watched you guys. Mike was talking about 1950. Well, these dudes prior to this season haven't played since 1942. A team full of just freshmen and sophomores. They are getting after it. They are 2-0 after the last couple of years of intramural football. I think they did that with pads. Not sure. Got to double check on that.
Yeah, that's how that would be.
They play Gallaudet University of Washington, D.C. So, hey, listen, if you are a small school Division III fan, you like seeing us talk about FCS programs, NAIA, JUCO, whatever it is, please let us know some of your favorites.
Absolutely. I love that, Knock. Yeah. Shout out to Roanoke. It'd be cool to go down there and catch a game and see the university a little bit. We didn't know much about them until we found that information out about them. And also sticking with the theme of 1950, I got to give a shout out as well too to University of Texas Rio Grande. Again, they've showed us some love on our social media. I want to make sure we show them love. I kind of latched onto them pretty early when I saw that it was their first season in Division I as well too. And sticking with the 1950s theme, I believe was when their last season was as well too. They were Edinburgh College at the time. Now they're Texas Rio Grande. They fundraised a lot. They just beat Langston last week, 80-0. They're 3-0. They have one more game this week against Texas Wesleyan before next week they jump into their first ever Southland International Conference game. So that'll be cool to see. I definitely want to keep an eye out there, and I would love to go down. I believe it's in Edinburgh, Texas, which is very, very south down there, very close to the Mexican border. I would love to go see a game down there. Their facilities are sick. Absolutely. So I do have some other ones that I just wanted to give out. Knock, feel free to let me know what you think as well too. I feel like this is going to come back to bite me right in the ass, but you know what? Screw you, Dabo. I'm going Syracuse plus 17.5, traveling down to Death Valley. I guess not really Death Valley. LSU claims that, but we're going to go Syracuse plus 17.5.
Pow!
Pow! Pow! I love
No,
it.
I
I
like
love.
it too, bro. I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, sir, you know what? It's the same kind of the same thing with Florida, man. I mean, Clemson just really has given me nothing to. I've got no faith. I've got no hope.
Mm-mm.
Nothing left to give those guys. So I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, they're pretty down
It'll bite
bad.
us, like you said. It'll bite us in the ass, of course, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Battle of the Oranges. So I hope the Syracuse Orange win that. Another rivalry. TCU and SMU, the Iron Skillet.
Mm.
This rivalry started back in, I believe, 1940s, the 1940s. They're about 45 miles apart from each other. I like the over 64 and a half in this game. I think SMU's defense is pretty boo boo, and TCU's offense is very electric. I said it before for the backyard brawl. I'm going to say it again for these two administrations. You guys suck for not having this rivalry being extended. So go to hell, get this figured out. There's no games in sight, but hopefully that they could fix that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Shame on them. I mean, we said it in our last episode or the episode prior to that. Just college football tradition is just absolutely being torn apart. As a kid, when I saw Penn State and Alabama's uniform so many times, I'm like, okay, for the love of goodness, just give them an alternate. But I get it now that I'm older, man, and that sucks. The fans really like that kind of stuff, and I think it's good for the school and the universities as well. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, you want to have those bragging rights as well too. So at least the backyard brawl's coming back in 2029. This one, I don't know. I hope they could
Done.
figure it out. Knock, I was kind of a little bit nervous to do this one, but you've been very. I don't even know if you've talked about him a decent amount. I feel like you haven't really been riding with them. You did against Virginia. I like NC State plus 3.5 against Duke this weekend.
Yeah, so I like them too, to be honest with you. And it's I'm just a kind of jerk that picked them the first 2 weeks and said, I don't like them week 3. They end up proving me wrong. I'm gonna ride it out with them. I think that's gonna hurt me somehow, some way. Just like it's like NC State, you know what I mean? Like, what do they go 4, 5, 6-0? But this kid CJ Bailey is the real deal. He's electric. He can do it all on the football field. So I agree. And their defense is stout, way better than it was last year. Way better.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, we'll be in, I'll be interested to see that. I basically said against I took them against Wake Forest as well too, so they covered that week. I'm going to take them again. Duke coming off a pretty terrible loss to Tulane, so we'll see how they bounce back. Another game and my final game for Division One FCS or FBS, excuse me. I'm going to take Cal minus 12 and a half against San Diego State. I think that quarterback, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his damn name, that true freshman. I talked about him early
Sagabatelli,
in the season.
Sagabatelli, Sagabatelli.
Sagabatelli. I talked about him earlier, I think in our week 0 or week 1 preview. He's electric. He's so good, even though he's a lefty and they throw weird. I really like him. I don't know why it's so low. I get that it's at San Diego State, but Cal's not really transferring or not traveling that far, excuse me. And I have to do it because damn it, Knock. These guys in San Diego State got blown out by Washington State 36-13. And we all know if you listen to the show, last week I gave out Washington State to cover against North Texas. And boy, oh boy, was that terrible. So I'm going to go with Cal here.
Oh, Cal, my goodness. Yes, absolutely. We just keep riding each other today, bro. I like your picks. You like
Pause.
my picks.
Oh,
I
that was
know.
crazy. In the words of Cameron, Ayo.
No, seriously though, I like that too. I mean, if San Diego State covers, I'm gonna question it. Cal's offense. Here's why. I'll tell you why. Cal's offense, while they were good, I watched that game last weekend. They won kind of comfortably. They could be better.
Absolutely, yeah. And I hate to bet against San Diego State too. I do like them. They won me some money. I think opening up week 1,
They're good at
somehow
basketball.
they are very good at basketball. Shout out Kawhi Leonard. But they also, I think the week 1 against Stony Brook, they were only favored by 20 and a half, and they beat them 42-0. So that helped me out a little bit there. Moving on to a couple of FCS games that I'm liking here. We have a ranked matchup. Number one, North Dakota State is tanking on number one, South Dakota State. Even though South Dakota State is ranked, I'm going to take North Dakota State to blow them out. I feel like they're just such a good program. So I think that's a cool game to highlight. I don't know if you have anything on that at all, Knock.
I don't know, but I tend to root for the Bison over the Jackrabbits anyway. So
Sandy Cyrus, South Dakota. I don't know if they're the Jackrabbits. That's South Dakota State. So we got to get you. We got to get you up to date on your mascots here.
is that not what you said?
I said South Dakota,
South Dakota
just
State?
South Dakota. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
just said
okay.
South Dakota. I think we could play it back. If I
No,
did,
no, no,
I
no.
apologize.
I'm sure I'm wrong.
No, you're
I'm
good.
100% sure I'm wrong.
Another ranked matchup. Number 12, Villanova taking on number 18, Monmouth. Both are coming off good games. I say good games. The only reason I'm saying Villanova came off a good game, they kept it close in the first half against Penn State. But good teams win and great teams cover. My God, if you didn't see how Villanova covered on the last play of the game, please go check that out. Crazy. It was some shit that you do on college football. And then Monmouth, they lost in a heartbreaker to Charlotte. I believe they only lost by one score. I want to say they put up 35 points on them. I think it was 42-35. So that's cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. That cover last second. I mean, just
What
oh,
a catch.
oh,
Holy shit.
phenomenal grab. I mean, just crazy. Uh, he's kind of an asshole for even catching it in the first place. So I'll be honest, like, just drop it. Like, just drop it. It means nothing. It's worth nothing. I mean, sure, you can take it home and celebrate with mom and dad. Like, oh, I got the. Listen,
That's the
he,
opening play on his highlight.
yeah, he screwed a lot of people. Not me. I would never have taken that personally because Penn State was actually struggling versus Villanova at first. It was slow. It was slow, slowly, gradually kicking their ass. But yeah, he's kind of a jerk for catching that ball. I don't like it.
Well, we love it. I can't root against Villanova, man. In football, in basketball, that's a whole nother story. We don't got to dive into that. But another one, a very cool one, I think. Lehigh takes on Bucknell. This is a nice little rivalry that's been going on between the two schools. I don't know if Bucknell is technically in the Lehigh Valley, but I know that they're not far from each other. I think that they're probably, I don't know, a little over an hour, maybe two. But Bucknell won in double overtime last year. Shout out to Bucknell. Shout out to Lehigh. Wanted to make sure that we, talked about you guys a little bit here. And then the last one that I have, it's not really like a highlight in a sense, but whoever you guys believe in, whoever you pray to, make sure you say a prayer for Mercyhurst, former Division II PSAC school here. They got to travel to Montana State on the road this weekend. They're going to get their shit kicked in. And then, not to mention, next week, they got to travel to number 2 South Dakota State, where again, they're going to get their shit kicked in. Good for the university, though. I'm sure they're getting paid a decent amount. They're in the NEC now. It'll be interesting to see what they do. So they've had a pretty tough schedule. I don't have it up in front of me, but I think this is going to be 3 straight weeks, last week including, where they're going to be going on the road to play against pretty tough Division I AA teams that already have established themselves.
Yeah, yeah, you can take the reins with Montana State. I know how much you love them. And be sure from me, you'll be getting some gear come Christmas time.
My man. Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They opened up in a heartbreaking loss, kind of close against Youngstown State. They beat New Haven, which is another Division II team up in Connecticut. I'm a sicko, so I know that. They have a blue field, I believe. You could Google that, see if I'm wrong here. And then they lost last week. They had to travel to Sacramento State, lost 49-28. Then, yeah, they're taking on number 4 Montana State and then number 2 South Dakota State before they officially kick off NEC play. And if you don't know Mercyhurst, Google their stadium. I hope they put a lot of these funds into that because their stadium is pretty bad.
What is it like? What is it like?
It's just very small. It's like right behind the dorms. Like I forget traveling up there whenever like I went on a visit in school, but it's just super small. If you Google it, if you're familiar with St. Francis's of PA, It's even smaller than that, I believe. So it's just not like you wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, Division 1, So, but it is what it is. Moving on to some D2 games, undefeated matchup in the top 25. We got Minnesota Duluth taking on Sioux Falls. Minnesota Duluth's number 16 in the country, while Sioux Falls, I believe, hopefully I'm saying that right, is number 25. So that should be a really good game. We got to shout out some PSAC schools, especially some ones that I care about in my heart. We got number 8, Cal U, taking on Lock Haven, which Lock Haven has some sick alternative uniforms that they just got. Wish they had them whenever I went there. Maybe we could talk to Shane a little bit about that here later, but those look sick. And then we got number 4, Slippery Rock, taking on another school that I'm pretty familiar with in Shippensburg University. Slippery Rock, if you guys are listening and don't know about them, take a look at them. They're ranked number 4 in the country, but I believe they're second to none in Division 2. They get shouted out at the big house every weekend. The fans erupt whenever the scores come on, so that's pretty sick. I believe they've actually played against Mercyhurst there a couple of times in the big house. There's just a weird kind of little love between those two. But Slippery Rock, if you're a kid that's looking to go D2 around the Pittsburgh area, take a look at Slippery Rock. I think they have at least 10,000 people at their stadium for their games every weekend. And then rounding off Division 2 here, we have another ranked matchup, number 21, Johnson C. Smith. I don't really know anything about them. So if this lands on your algorithm for anybody that goes there, contact us. Let me know about them. I'll definitely be doing my research, but they're taking on number 22, Virginia Union. So that should be a pretty good game. I don't have anything for D3 and NAIA, so I feel like an asshole, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no NAI. What did
I know you guys are dying to know who Grove City's playing this weekend for D3. But yeah, Knock, do you have anything else for this weekend at all?
Nah, man, I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I've got some money to lose, and I've got some beers to drink, so it'll be fun. Mix it with water. Don't drink and drive. Gamble.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't do that here. Make sure if you guys are tailing us, you tail responsibly. Don't be afraid to fade us as well too. But have a game plan. Make sure you're not doing anything too crazy there. But that's going to do it for episode 10 here. Again, I say it every time, but the people who tune in religiously, that support us, that comment on the TikToks, comment on the Instagram. It means so much more than you guys could ever imagine. We love interacting with you guys. And again, we're just getting started. We haven't even hit a month yet on this platform, which is crazy to think about. I think we ended up making it August 20th or something like that. So it should be coming up here. But again, we really appreciate all the love and support. Again, it means a lot more than what you guys know. But that'll do it for episode 10 here. We're looking forward to a jam-packed week 4 of college football, baby. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week.